No jokey sort of intro, just a public service announcement. I'm on the Lama Lounge at 5 o'clock tonight, link in the description, streaming Among Us with some FPL content creators around 8:30 to 8:45ish over on Twitch, links in the description, and also on General G's Everything Arsenal channel on Friday 6 PM, all links in the description. Check me out on all of them, show some support and run that intro. Hello and what is up, guys? Welcome to the channel and welcome to the best team from Game Week 1 to 8, a series that we might do irregularly over the season to look at the players that have performed the best. So hope you're having a great Thursday, hope you're ready for plenty of content coming your way, and let's get on to the video. So guys, the whole point of this concept is for me to just point out to you the players that have been performing really well, but also to pick the players I think could continue performing really well as the season progresses. This isn't a wildcard project video, this is more suggesting players to you that I think we shouldn't really be ignoring, and it will have some obvious names in there, and it will also have some obvious omissions just because they haven't been performing that well. But we're not going to worry too much about the budget, and then we'll look at the budget at the end and see how feasible having a team like this is. So we start off with the defenders and goalkeeper. Now I've stuck with Martinez here purely because I think at 4.8 million now, if you got him at 4.5, he's definitely worth keeping in there. But I think he's slightly better goalkeeper than McCarthy, and I think, look, if you're going to go for the best team you can possibly get, you're going to have to make some sacrifices somewhere, and to be honest, I think budget keepers are better value than their more expensive counterparts because of save points as well as the clean sheet potential. And Aston Villa did of course pick up another away clean sheet against Arsenal, so Martinez keeps his place in even this side, the best team side, but the defence does change drastically from, of course, what you know as my team and potentially the wildcard project teams. As you can see, we've got Cresswell, Cancelo and Chilwell, all 5 million plus defenders. Now, Cresswell just offers a fantastic creative output with his key passes, crosses and his assist potential. Cancelo is starting to rise to the forefront as potentially the Man City first choice left back, which we need to keep an eye on. And Chilwell has risen from 5.5 million to 6 million for a reason. Very attacking in that Chelsea side, and with Ziyech coming in, looks very, very promising to be able to get onto the end of those balls from Ziyech if Werner isn't there to take advantage of them. So these defenders offer better value than the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson, and have been outperforming them in sides that we are presuming are going to do well as the season progresses. But let's take a look at the stats to back up my thoughts. We have Chilwell at 6 million with 41 points, 2 goals scored from 6 shots, 5 on target, all 5 on target shots coming from inside the box, 1 big chance and expected goals at 1.18, the highest of the 3 defenders. He has 2 assists, 11 key passes, no big chances created and expected assists at 0.65, which creativity wise is lower than the other 2. The other 2 do bring more as far as assist potential. Cresswell at 5.1 million getting 38 points, no goals scored, only 3 shots on goal, with only 1 of those being on target, expected goals at only 0.14, but he has got 3 assists to his name from 17 key passes and 2 big chances created with expected assists at 1.34. Then Cancelo at 5.4 million has really risen to the forefront of our minds. 24 points so far, 2 shots on goal, expected goals at 0.05, but 1 assist, 11 key passes and 2 big chances created, with less minutes than the likes of Cresswell and an expected assist at 1.17. So all 3 of those defenders look very good for the price they are currently at. And for me, key passes wise are the highest scoring defenders that you can possibly look at for that metric. Before we move on to the midfield, yes, it's another plug, but it's a plug for my Twitch stream where I'm now going to be doing some FPL streams as well. So I want you guys to get involved over on the FPL streams where you'll have direct contact with me to ask me questions regarding FPL. We may even do stuff like deadline day streams to help you out with your FPL game. So here's a quick clip from the FPL stream and then we'll carry on with the video. Okay, if I was going Watkins or Adams, let's first off make sure everyone's aware that I have a slight bias against Adams. I don't think he's a good finisher. I know I've said that, and of course he scored an absolute great goal in Game Week 8, but Watkins to me is unproven, and I've seen enough of Adams that I'm not too keen. But the stats are decent for 6.1 and 5.9. They are options. I can't deny that. 11 shots on target for Adams. And you've got Watkins on 9. 9 big chances for Watkins with 6 goals scored. Adams, 5 big chances with 3 goals scored. Adams' key passes and Watkins' key passes quite high. Adams with 2 big chances created as well. Bonus points very similar. They're options. I would only potentially go them over Bamford because one is risen in price when he's 5.5. Oh boy, do I wish I'd got Bamford when he's 5.5. Fixture-wise, Aston Villa have great fixtures, but I've already got Grealish. That's my issue. I've already kind of put my hat on Grealish. So going to Watkins, do I want to double up on Aston Villa? And I mean, I've already got Martinez, so it will be a triple up. And I'd have to change my sub-goalkeeper as well. So I actually already have an Aston Villa triple up, I think. But Aston Villa definitely have the fixtures in their favour. Southampton and Leeds don't have the greatest of fixtures. So Watkins could be a shout as a differential. But the thing with what I do like about Villa and what I do like about Southampton and Leeds, which means I don't have a go-to here, is I think these are all sides that can pick up victories against opponents that could be tough fixtures. So link in the description for the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/J_no. Go and follow there and hope to see you there for the next FPL stream or gaming stream. So then, who are we going to put in our 4-man midfield? And there are, of course, some names that I own, which I'm very happy about here. Don't own so many of the defenders, unfortunately. But we have a 4-man midfield, including the likes of Salah and Grealish, who I own in my current FPL side. But also making it into the best team is Ziyech and Bruno Fernandes. Now, there were a bunch of midfielders that I did consider for this 4-man midfield. James Rodriguez probably being the closest to breaking into it. And of course, I am overlooking the fact that Man City's form could take an upturn. So the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling, I'm not suggesting are bad options. I'm just saying that right now, these guys are outperforming them and potentially could continue their form, and that is why this 4-man midfield consists of the personnel it does. Fernandes at 10.5 million, real class player, has goal threat and creativity to his name. We all know about Mohamed Salah. He is always going to be one of those midfielders that has the most shots on goal, most shots from inside the box, most shots on target. He's always going to be trying to score. And then Grealish has been in absolute great form and had a couple of shots cleared off the line, so could have had even better stats than he does have. And is playing in an Aston Villa side that does look like it can take it to certain opposition, although it does maybe look a bit leaky against certain opposition in defence. But that's why we've got no Aston Villa defender. And then Ziyech, he's only played 190 minutes. However, he has looked very promising in those 190 minutes and costs only 8.1 million. So potentially this could be an affordable team with the likes of Ziyech and Grealish in the side. Let's look at the stats to back up my words, though. We have Salah, of course, at 12.4 million. I'll read out the stats to you just to back up the point that he's always the midfielder that is going to have the highest goal threat. 67 points so far this season with 8 goals, 34 shots on goal with 15 on target, 26 of those shots coming from inside the box with 8 big chances. Expected goals at 6.48, so he's slightly outperforming his expected goals. He's only got 1 assist from 4 big chances created, and expected assist is at 3.42, so he's actually underperforming his expected assists. We then got Grealish at 7.5 million. I've been really impressed with this guy, and he's got 60 points. And you have to remember that he played 1 less game than a lot of his counterparts here. He's managed to get 4 goals from 22 shots on goal, 9 on target, 19 of those coming from inside the box. Now, I would like that on target number to be slightly higher, a bit more like the numbers that, say, Salah produces, but it's not too bad, especially for a £7.5 million midfielder. 5 big chances, expected goals at 3.45 and assists at 6, with 6 big chances created and expected assists at 3.85, the highest for any midfielder in this 4-man midfield. And then we've got Bruno Fernandes at 10.5 million, making into the side against the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling and James Rodriguez. He's managed to get 53 points from 5 goals scored, 20 shots on goal, only 10 of those being on target, with 7 coming from inside the box and 4 big chances. However, expected goals at 3.71 is decent, and also assists at 3 with 3 big chances created, and expected assists at 2.23. He brings a bit of both goal threat and assist threat to his name. And then we've got the likes of Hakim Ziyech just making it into this side off of 2 appearances, just because I think he shows a lot of promise. 27 points from 190 minutes played is a great return, with 1 goal from 4 shots on goal, 1 on target, and expected goals at 0.20. But it's the assist threat that looks really promising with Hakim Ziyech. Assists at 3, big chances created at 4, and expected assists at 1.83. Not too much lower than Bruno Fernandes, and he's only played 190 minutes. Expected assists that close to someone like Bruno Fernandes when you've played so little. Very, very promising indeed. And finally, we're going to see who the front 3 is. And there's one name that almost made it into this front 3, and that's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But I've dropped him purely because I worry those numbers might regress. He isn't on the kind of form he was at the beginning of the season. And that could be because Richarlison is missing. So we could see an upturn. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is definitely not someone I would suggest to sell, but he hasn't made it into this starting 11. The ones that have made it are Harry Kane at 11 million, Patrick Bamford at 6.1 million, and Jamie Vardy at 10.1 million. Now, the reason I like all of these is because they have great goal threat, and Vardy, while he doesn't have the same amount of shots as the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Mitrovic and other names, does have one thing in his bag of tricks that really makes him stand out. As well as, of course, all those penalties that Leicester are winning, despite the fact Vardy did miss one last game week. But I think that front 3 could set you for the rest of the season, to be honest. Again, no Man City, so you might want to maybe look at a Gabriel Jesus if you really like those fixtures. But Gabriel Jesus hadn't done enough to make it into this side. Now, if we have a look at the stats to back up my thoughts, I mean, that's great return from 3 strikers for what is 8 game weeks. Now, Harry Kane, 11 million, was cheaper than that, but his form has been so good that he has risen in price. 80 points from 8 game weeks. That's 10 points on average every game week. From 7 goals, 38 shots on goal, 15 on target, 25 from inside the box, and 9 big chances. His expected goals is at 6.02, so he's only just outperforming his expected goals. And his assists as well, 8 assists for Harry Kane, from 18 key passes and 8 big chances created, with expected assists at 4.64. So there's a potential for his assists to drop off, but still, those are great numbers from Harry Kane. Now, Jamie Vardy also makes it, and yes, he doesn't have the same amount of shots on goal as the likes of Bamford and Harry Kane, but what he does have is 8 goals from 16 shots, the highest scoring striker in this list, and 12 shots out of his 16 have been on target. 15 from inside the box, but 12 big chances. With less shots than both Harry Kane and Patrick Bamford, he's managed to get 12 big chances, and expected goals at 7.32. That's higher than Harry Kane's. He's only just outperforming his expected goals as well, which is great to see. And he's got 2 assists from 4 key passes and 1 big chance created, with expected assists at 1.16. But you don't get Vardy for the assists, you get him for the goals. And then Patrick Bamford, 6.1 million. Yes, I was one of those FPL YouTubers that suggested Patrick Bamford couldn't cut it in the Premier League, and now I'm here with egg on my face. As we can see, 58 points, that's only 1 point less than Jamie Vardy. 7 goals scored from 29 shots on goal, 14 on target, that's 1 less shot on target than Harry Kane, and 26 shots from inside the box, that's 1 more than Harry Kane. 9 big chances, the same as Harry Kane as well. Expected goals only at 5.12, so he's outperforming his expected goals by slightly more than the likes of Vardy and Kane, but this is great to see because in the Championship he was actually a player that underperformed his expected goals. So of course it could regress to that, but he's done enough in 8 game weeks to make it into this side. He's also got 2 assists and 4 key passes and expected assists at 1.02, and I'm pleasantly surprised with Bamford, and he plays in a lead side that are going to continue to score goals this season. So I think Bamford is great value and someone we should be considering to put into our sides. So finally, how much would this starting 11 cost you? It would actually only cost you 87 million, leaving you 13 million still to spend. Now, of course, if you went for the cheapest possible options on your bench, if you could find two £4 million defenders, a £4 million goalkeeper, and a £4.5 million midfielder, you'd still be looking at 16.5 million. So that's over the 13 million that we have left. If you manage to get your team value up high enough, though, maybe you could afford this with a cheap bench. But also there's options where you could downgrade this side slightly. Now, you could take someone like a Chilwell if you really want to save some money and downgrade to a £4.5 million defender, or even a £4 million defender in the likes of Kilman, although he has risen to 4.3 now, and potentially still be able to afford this side if you maybe changed a Ziyech to someone slightly cheaper, or a Grealish to someone slightly cheaper. And of course, there is Dominic Calvert-Lewin out there as well that you could downgrade a Vardy or a Kane to if you didn't particularly like their fixtures. And then this side is actually affordable, which I was surprised by, to be fair. The only downside is if you actually went for this side, you don't have that Man City coverage in the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, and Jesus or Aguero, which would be a worry for me moving forward. But this was never a video to pick the best side for the next game weeks. It's looking back at the best side that has been from game week 1 to 8 and seeing what we can learn from it and who we should be getting into our sides moving forward. Anyway, guys, hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And check out all the links in the description down below. And I hope to see as many of you there as possible for all the streams I will be doing over the up and coming days, for more content for you guys and showing some love to some other FPL content creators out there. With all that being said, I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.